Welcome to today's episode. I'm David Bland. Hopefully you've seen some other aspects and episodes that we've recorded. Today we're going to talk about finding and identifying the place to do your business in. But before we do, let's take advantage of a discussion that I do every time at the beginning. Look, there's an awful lot of people out there putting these type of recordings on the internet. There's no shortage of them that have no idea what they're talking about. All they're looking for is attention. So you need to be careful who you listen to. We have recorded some information about me and my background and the reasons that I'm doing this. I strongly encourage you to watch that episode. It's episode 1. And understand who I am and whether you think I have something to share with you that has value. Because you should not be following instructions of people who you know nothing about and you have no reason to believe that they necessarily know what they're saying and what they're talking about. So please take a look at that and make sure that you feel like I'm someone you can trust and listen to. Now, with that said, let's talk about where and how you do your business. So there's lots of choices, and obviously there's lots of different business types, and I don't right now have any idea what kind of business you're trying to run. So let's run the full gamut. First, like I started in a consulting company, you may be operating from your home. If you're doing online sales, again, another logical place is to start your business in your home. What you want to do early on is make sure you are controlling what is referred to as overhead costs, right? Because the more of those you rack up, the harder it will be to survive and make a business that works, all right? So starting from your home or from your garage or some other interesting but rather unique arrangement might be the right answer for you. And if it is, you should take advantage of it, at least as long as it works and your business is successful in it. But, right, there's lots of different business types that will not allow that to work indefinitely. All right, so you need to be asking yourself, first and foremost, why do I need a space? What is it that I'm using the space for? If you can't answer those questions, then you are not ready to find it. The first question is why, in almost every case. Why is that right? Why do I need this? Why is it that is what works? So what I want you to do to begin with is define the reason. And this is task number 1. And there's going to be 3, okay? Task number 1 is to ask yourself, in your business today, what are the key features that you need to actually be able to run your office? And by that, I'm talking about what are the minimum features you need. And there's a reason why in task 1, we go with minimum features. What are the minimum features you need today to run your business? If you're running a retail business and you're relying upon foot traffic to come to your business, I mean, an example of that would be, okay, I need to be someplace where there's a lot of people walking around. They may not be looking for me, but they're looking. And that gives me the opportunity to capture their attention in my storefront or in my store and possibly make a sale transaction. If you're doing an office, right, same sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to have one desk. I'm going to have 4 staff members. I'm going to have lots of printers and copiers. I'm going to have screen printers. Whatever it is that you're doing, right? Ask yourself what needs to be in there so that you actually can produce the products or offer the products you're intending on selling. And what are the features and functions that place needs to have? And what are they minimum? And why are they the ones you need? All right, so once you have that written down and you've identified how that works, you get to phase 2. And this may sound weird, okay? So I'm going to explain to you why phase 2 is important. In the first 8 years of my company, I had to move it 5 times, okay? If you haven't done that, that is phenomenally disruptive, and it's, quite frankly, pretty expensive. Now, it's a good problem to have, okay? Because, at least in my case, it's because I was sizing up and sizing up and sizing up because the size of my staff kept growing so exponentially. In the first 10 years, I grew at 50% year over year on average. That's really stunning and hard to control, by the way, and we'll talk about that in another episode. But the second thing I want you to do is recognize if you are as successful, there's another consideration you should make when you're trying to decide what and where and how to run your business. And it's this. I want you to ask yourself, okay, let's say, right, and there's another module on business plan. So if you haven't created one, you need to go hear that and figure out how to write one. Because that will be key to telling you where you think you're going to be in 3 years. What, if everything goes as you hope, will you be doing in 3 years from now? Not 5 years, not 1 year, not 10 years. 3 years is the number I want you to be thinking about. When and what will your business look like 3 years from today as you start looking for a place to do business? Okay. If you are successful, what will be that feature and function? Why, remember that, why do you need them? Okay. Again, important question. It helps force you to really analyze the choices that you're making. Okay. And so you now have task 1, which is defining what you need today, why you need it, and what capabilities it has to provide. Task 2, we're through. The second thing, what will you need in 3 years if you are successful? Okay. Now, obviously, eventually we're going to get into the marketplace and find some information in those two. So I want you to actually shop for both. Okay. Not one or the other, both. Because what you need to do is fix what your options are, where they are. And that's an important part for a lot of businesses. Locations don't matter to some businesses. In other business types, they are vital. They are the difference between success and failure, right? It may be very important in your business how much car traffic passes in front of your establishment on an hourly or daily or weekly or monthly basis. You should know whether that is important. That should be part of what you've thought about and how you've planned to start your business, or what you've learned now that you have started it and you've been running it for a while. So now that you have defined the range, and that's what they are, task 1 and task 2, define the range of the facilities you might need to either buy or lease, depending upon your strategy, you now can go find out what do they cost. Because once you have that information, you now get to task number 3. And frankly, it is the most important of them all. I've said this in others, I'll say it again here. The death of most small businesses comes because they don't have cash. And without it, you can't run. So what I want you to do next, and finally, in picking a place to exercise your business, I want you to look at your cash flow from your business plan. And I want you to establish just how much can you charge your clients, thereby getting extra money to handle your overheads, and how much of your overheads have you said you will assign to having to pay rent or a mortgage. Again, whether you're buying or you're renting and leasing. Okay? Because what I want you to do now is look at that number. What is the maximum amount of money you can afford and keep your business running? Okay, and what I want you to do, and this is going to surprise you, or at least I think it will, I want you to get the most facility that you can get to run your business in. And the reason is I don't want you to do what I had to do. I don't want you running your business for 18 months and then needing to move and get a bigger place. And then 16 months later, you have to buy an augmented facility so you can continue to run not only the one you got extra, but your original one, because your lease or your mortgage won't let you sell it. And then 3 years later, you're doing it again until, with me, 9 years later, I'm doing it for the 5th time into a really big building, 42,000 square feet, that let me run my business in it. Okay, and that was incredibly expensive, incredibly disruptive. Clearly, I could not have bought the original 42 or the final 42,000 square foot building to run originally. Okay, but it sure would have been nice not to make all those moves between the end place and the beginning place. And so as much as it may seem, well, I only need this space right now to run my business in, and it's cheaper, whatever that means. In the long run, unless you're planning on failure, and I'm thinking you're probably not, you may find yourself with that need in 3 years, and it would be easier to already have it available to you if you can afford it. Never buy more than you can afford. Never buy more than the cash flow will allow you to survive, but always get the features and functions that at a minimum you require to run your business right now, and buy as many features and functions as you can for what your business is going to be 2 or 3 years from now. Okay. So I'm hoping that has given you enough of a hint and some lessons learned the hard way by me to know how to go get a facility to do your business. I want to remind you the whys are important. Why do I need this? Can I wait? Can I do without this feature and function? If you're trying to run a big law firm or a big investment firm, your image is important. If your clients never come to you or your customers never come to you, the fancy nature of your facility where you work might be personally satisfying, but you're now giving money to someone else instead of yourself. So be sure you know why you're getting what you're getting and that it's directly tied to the success of your building, your business, because that's what you're after right now, success of your business. This is the way to get your building or your facility or your operating structure with the best possibility of your success, and you're minimizing the chaos because you're going to have plenty of it already. All right. So take the advice. You'll find out in the business plan module and episode that this is a part of what you write in there, what you think about in there, and how you make sure you have planned for your success with your dream. Thanks for your time today. I'm hoping this has been helpful. I look forward to providing you some more hints and more episodes about both the good and the challenging things I experienced in my company. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you again.